This is the Ortur Laser Master 3. If you're looking at purchasing this laser, this video will tell you everything you need to know about it. Today we'll be reviewing this beautiful looking laser. We'll show you what's in the box, how to assemble it, show you some tests, and tell you what's good and bad about it. In the end, we'll compare it with one of its competitors. And we'll also give you an exclusive code to get a discount when you make your purchase. So hello guys, welcome back to Mellopine Lasers. Before we move on, this laser was sent to us for testing and review by Ortur. However, I would like to let you know that this video is not sponsored by them. We start assembling the machine by connecting the extrusions of the frame. The extrusion with the toggle switch goes to the back side. Now comes the two sides. First we take the extrusion on the left. Note that the curved side of the extrusion faces outwards. We pass the Y-axis motor cable through the extrusion. After you are done, you should make sure the cable is on the slot at both ends. This will prevent it from being crushed between the frame. Next, we need to screw this down, and for that we will flip the frame and use an M48 screw. We flip the frame back and take the extrusion on the other side. Just like before, the curved side faces outwards. The extrusion should slide right in. We use an M48 screw here as well. And you're right, we are flipping the frame again. This is the X-axis gantry. Align it properly and it should slide right onto the tracks of the frame. Now we get to the front side. The Ortur logo goes on the left side and emergency stop switch on the right side. We flip the frame once again. We use M48 screws on both sides. This completes the frame. Now we install the belts. We fold the belt with the serrated portion inside and smooth portion outside. Take the belt and put it through the drive gear of the Y-axis motor inside the back frame. If you find this difficult, you can remove the cover to get better access to the pulley inside. Do this for both sides. Now we install the idler pulleys. Idler pulleys should fit right into these slots under the left and right slideways. Pass the other end of the belt through this. Tighten the idler assembly with screws. After that we have these drop screws. They go in the screw holes on the front of the slot. This is for adjusting belt tension. Do the same on the other side. We can now install the laser module. If you plan on using an air assist, screw the air assist nozzle onto the laser module. To remove the shield, you push on it from the left side and it pops off. To put it back, apply a light pressure. A thumb screw on the right side holds the laser. Slide the laser in and use the thumb screw to hold it. Connect one end of the laser wire to the laser module and the other to the connector marked L. There will be two M36 screws left. This is an alternative to limit switches. I will explain this in detail later. This goes to the inner side of the left and right slideways. Flip the frame This end of the circuit group goes to the main board connector. Just beside it we have the Y-axis motor cable. Connect it as well. Tilt the frame a bit and move the belt under the slide way to the belt slot on the X-axis gantry. Do the same for the other side as well. This completes the assembly of the machine. We are good to go. There are these sturdy aluminum extrusions that intersect in perfect harmony. Everything is powder coated. There are some steel and brass parts as well. And they have used nylon rollers for carrying the gantry. Everything about this machine speaks premium while maintaining its low profile. It can fit right on your dinner table without anyone batting an eye. The wires and belts concealed under the frame makes it all seem like magic. No wires, yet it moves.
Magic.
It had me wondering why more brands aren't putting this much of an effort when it comes to design. However, the few wires which can be seen from the outside sticks out like a sore thumb. They could have put in some more effort for the cable running from the controller to the laser. But this is hands down one of the best looking laser machines out there. It does not end there though. Concealed motors and wires mean they are safe from dust and debris, which means less time spent on cleaning them. And it greatly improves the durability of the laser. If you look at the work area, we have a square work area of 400 by 400 mm, just like its predecessor. Interestingly, our first YouTube video is a review on Comgo Z1, which has a similar work area and laser module, and it's a fairly inexpensive machine. I do have a slight gripe with the Z height of the machine. It's really low, which means you cannot work with tall workpieces. Ortur sells a Z height adjuster separately. But you can always use some wooden blocks to raise the machine to work on thick workpieces. Ortur uses a belt drive mechanism. Ortur Laser Master 3 has two stepper motors, one for each axis. Ortur makes up for the absence of a dual drive on its Y-axis with a nice little trick. They use timing shafts like most lasers, which make both ends of the gantry move in complete synchronization. If you like neat tricks, we have a free 7-day course called Getting Started with Lasers. We aim at providing a comprehensive yet simple guide for anyone getting into laser engraving or cutting. We cover all the fundamentals which will equip you with the necessary skill set to get you started. I will leave the link in the description below. Do sign up, you won't regret it. With a focal spot size of 0.05 by 0.1 mm, Laser Master 3 brings the most delicate details to life. I think they have really put in some time into developing this. They have managed to make a really small module, and it's a huge stride when you compare it to something as big as some 5-watt modules. A 10-watt module being smaller than a 5-watt module deserves some due credit. Of course, the cooling might be better on the bigger modules, but Ortur tries to compensate for it using 2 fans. The smaller size means you can run this at higher speed and with a lot less vibration. Even with such a small size, Ortur has managed to integrate an air assist port on the top of the module. The passage runs through the inside of the module and onto the nozzle. Pretty neat design. For focusing the laser, Ortur Laser Master 3 uses the same technique they used on the Laser Master 2 Pro. It's similar to the one we saw with the xTool machine. An integrated focusing bar. You loosen the screw, move the module until the bar touches the material and you flip it back up. Laser focused. On the Laser Master 2, you had to use aluminum blocks to focus the laser. These are the quality of life improvements that can make the process less tiresome. I also got a new laser from Two Trees which has a really cool autofocus feature. I will be reviewing it soon. You should definitely subscribe if you don't want to miss that. And hit that like button while you are at it. With the stepper motors and belt drives, Ortur has managed to pull off a max speed of 20,000 mm per minute. And this is pretty close to the xTool D1 Pro, which can run at a max speed of 24,000 mm per minute. Although I do not recommend you running your machine at maximum speed all the time. This can wear it down. But yeah, it's nice to have that option. There are a ton of safety features, pretty standard stuff, and it's pretty good. Starting with a really nice pair of laser safety goggles. I recommend you always wear this while operating lasers. The gyroscope turns the laser module off if the laser tilts beyond a certain angle. This can prevent laser burning anything outside its work area. If you're someone who runs your laser through a USB and if it gets disconnected, the laser module shuts off. Let's say you leave your laser in the middle of a job to get a cup of coffee, and the laser stays in one place for whatever reason. Hiccups like these can turn into a huge fire hazard. Ortur employs something called exposure duration detection and limitation. This turns off the laser in scenarios like this. Also, most lasers in this price range have a flame detector. Ortur doesn't have one. We have an emergency stop button which is really useful, and if you have kids in your place, this key can be a huge relief. This acts as a child lock of sorts. If you don't want anyone else using the machine, turn this anti-clockwise and take the key. Even if you hit the power button, it's just going to show a red light and not turn on. Turn it clockwise and you're good to go. The laser homes itself. Speaking of homing, Ortur does not home the laser using limit switches because it doesn't have any. Instead, we get these screws set up in all corners of the machine. These physically stop the motion. There are no sensors, no physical buttons. If you ask how the homing works, well, the gantry comes and hits these screws and stops. And the load on the motors increases suddenly, which causes a sudden change in the current they draw from the driver. The controller detects this sudden change in current and understands that the gantry has reached the end. All this happens really quick and you won't ever hear any unnecessary grinding of the motors. Looking at the connectivity options, there are multiple ways you can use this laser. One, you have the memory card. It's simple and straightforward. You load your file onto the card and run it on the machine. One thing you have to note is the firmware of the machine is loaded onto the SD card. I was so clueless when this happened. The machine kept on beeping when I first turned it on. Then I figured out that you have to have the card plugged in for the machine to work. Then you have the ESP32 controller with Wi-Fi support, so you can connect your laser to your Wi-Fi network. You can download the Laser Explorer app from the Play Store or Apple Store to operate the laser using your phone. The app is pretty straightforward to use. You connect to the hotspot on the machine and you can jog the machine, control it and run files. But my preferred mode of operation is by connecting the machine to my PC. There is much better sense of control when you're on your computer. Ortur supports laser gerbil and light burn. Coming to what materials it can work on, since it has a 10 watt power output, you can engrave on a wide variety of materials like wood, acrylic, leather, stainless steel, aluminum, glass, etc. If you ask about cutting, I have cut acrylic, wood, cardboard, leather and ply. Ortur's official website claims the same. Enough with the speculating, let's get down to business and test this one out. You cannot, and I mean it in all seriousness, start your projects right away. You're going in blind. And that's why I recommend you run a power scale test after you assemble your laser. This test is designed to figure out the optimum settings in power and speed. In addition to that, we check the line spacing and engraving ability. I have made this test pattern on light burn. I have a video on how you can make one yourself. It should pop up somewhere over here and I will leave a link in the description if you want to check it out. Alternatively, you can refer to the Ortur website for their recommended numbers. You can work around those to see what works for you. Also, there are some spreadsheets with the recommended settings for cutting and engraving in the memory stick that comes with the laser. That was insanely fun. This is a capable machine. Now let's see what really gets it going. We have here the 10th generation of laser motherboard with a V2.0 series smart laser firmware. And that's the technical mumbo jumbo. What it means is this is modern, snappy, and I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. There are no limit switches as I mentioned earlier. Also, you won't find a flame detector that you see on similar lasers. The Wi-Fi control option via the app on the Ortur is the best one among those I have seen till now. Another thing that I want to say when it comes to the controller and wiring is that they have kept it within the extrusions. and this definitely improves the way the laser looks. If you look at the extrusion on the rear, you'll find a flip switch. This is for when you want to use a rotary module. You connect the rotary module to the port below the switch and flip the switch to YRR. This disables the Y-axis motor. The connector over here is a bit different than the one we see on most rotary modules. I thought I cannot use rotary modules from other brands. That's when I found this cable in the kit that helps you connect rotaries from other brands. The Ortur Laser Master 3 is compatible with Laser Gerbil and Lightburn. Apart from that, you also have the Laser Explorer app for your phone and the OLM3 web control. Laser Gerbil is free to use but only works on Windows machines. On the other hand, Lightburn is a paid software and it can work on Windows, Mac and Linux OS. If you are more into engraving images on workpieces, Laser Gerbil is a good enough software. But if you want to cut materials, I would recommend Lightburn as it is much more flexible in working with lines. The OLM3 web control is also a cool way to control your laser. You connect both your computer and your laser to the same network. Once you do that, you can use the web browser in your computer to load up the control interface and you can run your laser from there. Now on to the accessories. I think a laser really excels when it's versatile. Ortur offers several upgrades. Let's see how far these help in improving upon the original machine. We have already talked about the Z height adjuster. It's priced at around $66. If you want a large work area, Ortur offers an extension kit for Laser Master 3 series. It is priced around $180. You basically replace the Y-axis with these extended versions of them. They come with these foldable legs which resolves much of the Z-axis height issues. The standard work area of 400 by 400 mm is expanded to 400 by 850 mm. That is a whopping 212% increase in work area. If you work on large workpieces like guitars and skateboards, you would need these. Next, we have the Ortur Enclosure 2.0 priced at $160. Works with all Ortur and Orfero laser engravers. While it is super easy to assemble and use, if you are someone who primarily uses a setup with the extension kit, this isn't for you. You cannot put it in with the extension kit, it's either this or that. The enclosure is compatible with Laser Explorer app and gives you direct control on the light and fan switches. Also, for $230 you can get yourself the Ortur Y-axis rotary chuck. This will allow you to work with most cylindrical surfaces. It has multiple modes and functions. Talking about customer support and community, Ortur has a dedicated support page for its lasers. And from what I have heard, they do respond pretty quick. And the community is especially active for Ortur machines. While they have an official Facebook user group for Ortur machines, I had much more fun interacting with the users in Reddit communities. That's my favorite part about the laser community. We are super welcoming and help each other throughout the way. Both Ortur Laser Master 3 and the 10-watt version of the xTool D1 are comparably priced. They both come at around $700. When we get to the module itself, the size is the most obvious difference. But both have their pros and cons. Ortur manages to not compromise on internal fans and gives a more stable system. The smaller size means you can run this at higher speed and with a lot less vibration. Now, let's take xTool D1. I can assure you, while both modules have internal fans, I think the bigger module is going to fare better when it comes to managing the temperature. The xTool D1 has a 20-watt laser module priced at $540. If you are someone who is super into future-proofing your investments, or you think you might outgrow your uses for a 10-watt module, xTool is the choice for you. xTool has a very accessible way to adjust the belt tension, but I don't think that matters much because belt tension isn't adjusted that often, once in every 6 months at most. Ortur Laser Master 3 is almost twice as fast as xTool D1. Ortur runs at 20,000 mm per minute while xTool can go up to 10,000 mm per minute. Just to be clear, xTool D1 has a Pro version which runs at 24,000 mm per minute but costs more. I also like that Ortur has an automatic maintenance reminder. Super convenient if you have a hard time keeping track of things like these. Depending on the variant you buy, xTool D1 has these risers which help you adjust the Z height easily. Ortur is limited by its foldable legs, which is less flexible when it comes to actual application. In conclusion, xTool and Ortur do give each other a tough competition in the 10-watt diode laser market. There is no right answer to which one is better. These are tools and you have to decide which one works for you. And I'm going to leave you to make that choice for yourself. and whatever choice you make, I'm sure you can figure out a way to bring out the best from it. That's it guys, we have covered just about everything there is to know about the Ortur Laser Master 3. Ortur Laser Master 3 is an impressive machine held together by its sturdy structure. A lot of thought was put into designing this product, and it's faster and more user-friendly than most laser engravers out there. I think it's a great choice in this budget. So here are the exclusive discount codes for Melopine Laser subscribers. If you're purchasing Ortur Laser Master 3, use this code to get $80 off. If you're purchasing any accessories, use this code to get a 10% discount. I will leave these codes in the description as well. I have also planned a lot of videos on a lot of different laser topics and on different laser machines. So if you haven't subscribed yet, now is a good time to subscribe. And if you found this video was good, click that like button. If you didn't, you could click the other one. And if you want more interesting stuff on lasers and CNCs, check out melopine.com/CNC. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.